Go ahead in.
Awesome game. Loved it. Oh, really? Donkey Kong, Pac-Man. They still have a lot of signs.
Metal Slug, Florida Jet, Shop, Heavy Machine.
Oh my Lord, so been good to me. Well, Lord, Lord, oh my Lord, so been good to me. Oh Lord, Lord, oh my Lord, so been good to me. And I know it was a help. Oh Lord, 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 so been good to me. And I know it was the hands of the Lord. My Lord with the hands of the Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord,
So we're gonna start here with you. We're gonna start here. What you're being asked to do over the next 6 months or so is to begin to celebrate your victories more than you have been. Like you might have a victory, or you might have the dream come true, but you're not really in the moment with it. You're always on to the next moment. So this is time for you to just, hey, how are you doing? Okay. It's time for you to just sit in the moment, take it. Life looks good. I was telling you about that, just getting a little bit more frequent. Diet looks good.
I'd like to stop here and give you some history of what you're seeing. It helps us to understand what you're seeing as we move along. Can you hear me down there okay?
Yes.
This is the oldest cemetery in New Orleans. It was laid out in 1789. Now, the city was founded in 1718. When the city was founded, we used to bury bodies in the levee, and when the river would overflow, the bodies floated up. Our family's been here since the 1760s, and we have all this family lore about floating bodies. Not very good. Here comes Grandpa for the third time. You gotta go get him and rebury him. Tell me. So in the 1700s, they did set up a cemetery on St. Peter Street, which is right by Jackson Square. And what they did there, I'm gonna smile about it, not really funny. What they did was they punched holes in the coffins and pushed it into the swamp so it would fill up with water. And the idea was it would become waterlogged and it wouldn't pop back up. That was just a theory. So we had bodies popping up and bodies running down the street. Very unsatisfying. Behind you, those are called oven balls because they're shaped like old-fashioned ovens. They also function as ovens. They're made of brick and stucco. They retain the heat. The average temperature in all of our tombs here is 130 degrees year-round. So when you open that after a year, I've been here when that's done, of course you're hit with a blast of hot air. But a body that you put in a year before is cremated. It's just a huge pile of ash and bone. You push it to the back, put it up. We have a municipal ordinance that you can't open a tomb until the most recent body's been there a year and a day. That's because they have the natural cremation process. So hypothetically, if you bury someone on slab number 1, and then somebody else dies, but a year hasn't passed, you can't open the tomb. So what the Archdiocese will do, it's just a voluntary thing. They will offer to let you bury the body in one of the vacant oven vaults. They charge a little minimal fee for that. and then they won't charge you anything to move it for you when you can open your own tomb. And some people do that because they don't know what to do. But in the community, they call it the rent-a-tomb program. You just rent a tomb. I want to point out that you're going to see a lot of pyramid-shaped tombs in our cemeteries, and we don't know why. It's a very popular architectural piece. People make up stories about it. They say, oh, well, we're a young country, we wanted some kind of gravitas, we went back to Egypt. We don't really know. So people make up stories about why we like pyramids. This particular tomb, though, is owned by an actor by the name of Nicolas Cage, and he did it in the shape of a pyramid for a personal reason. He was in Florida, and he was in a film just before he built the tomb that featured pyramids, and it featured that phrase, omnia ab uno, all from one. So he incorporated that into his tomb. But he did something here. Now this tomb is made of Italian marble, and it was manufactured in sections and shipped over here to be assembled. So assembly was completed in 1957, and it cost $40,000. If you look here, under Italia, you can see the name of the architect of the tomb. His name was Pietro Gualdi. He came with it. He wanted to make sure that it was assembled properly. No sooner was it assembled, like you see it every day, than he died. But he was the first person buried here. Whoops, I'm sure you can see it. Around the statues, and they were pulling them up over the fence. And the police told me if they hadn't caught them, when they didn't catch these people, they would sell them for garden statues around. And when they couldn't figure out how to get the whole statue, they just knocked off pieces. And we'd find these pieces all over the United States in antique stores, all over. And I was never looking for them. But people confuse her with her daughter. She had a daughter named for her, Rita Bowe too. And she's one of these young women that lost so many children, one after the other, after the other, after the other, that she got sick and she died. And so she's buried in St. Louis. This is the matriarch. Now, Maria Bowe was a voodoo priestess, but she earned her living primarily as a hairdresser. She went to people's homes and did their hair. And I had relatives that knew her in her old age, and she definitely had a sense of humor. She used to say, you know, people would come in and say, I want you to get rid of my husband's mistress. She said, I knew all about the mistress because I did her hair yesterday. I knew all the gossip because I did the neighbor's hair, so I knew what they were saying about it. So before the people said anything, she would describe the whole situation to them, including the gossip that was going on, and tell them what they needed to do about it. But they hadn't said anything, so they would think she was a mind reader. She liked that. She thought it was funny. Might be good for business too, but she liked it. On a more serious note, Maria Bowe was renowned her whole life as a nurse. She had extensive knowledge of medicinal herbal healing when medicine was very primitive. So when we had all of these epidemics, Maria Bowe was front and center. When I talk to modern day nurses and physicians, they say they think that not only did she have knowledge of herbal medicinal healing and how to titrate all of that, but she probably followed modern nursing as far as hygiene and not bleeding people to death by doctors. So if you could get her as a nurse, your chance of survival would way up. She was also a very devout Catholic. People don't realize that. Her great-grandmother had come over here as a slave from West Africa, so she was steeped in African religious beliefs. And Maria Bowe used to say, to some extent, her mom and grandmother, some of that rubbed off on them. But Maria Bowe herself was educated by the Ursuline nuns, and she was a very devout Catholic. She went to Mass every day. She was married twice in the Catholic Church. All of her children were baptized Catholic. So she worked with the pastor at the St. Louis Cathedral to try and bring some kind of comfort to men who were condemned to death. And they would set up little altars for the men in their cells. In the winter, she sewed for them like jackets.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome. Miss Chandler. Here is a cocktail list and a wine list. We also have our wines by the glass. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. You're very welcome.